Hello everyone, I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of January 16th, 17th, and 18th. On today's show, we'll hear about the AARP Smart Driver class with Paul Hoden. But first, a few reminders for this weekend. Friday night, it's the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. The big show starts at 7:30 in the Village Church Auditorium. On Saturday, you can take in the Everblades hockey game against the Gwinnett Gladiators from Duluth, Georgia. The cost is $28 with snacks at the arena on your own. Court pickups start at 5:30 with an approximate return time of 10:15 p.m. Please note that stairs and arena navigation are involved with this outing. Sunday afternoon is time for a movie matinee. The feature is the classic jury trial drama 12 Angry Men, starring Henry Fonda. Get some popcorn in the Grand Cypress Room and be ready for the lights to dim at 2:30. While you're making plans, Tuesday of next week will be here before you know it, and there are a couple of great opportunities for you that day. A tour of Shell Point's chiller plant will take place in the morning. Have you ever wondered what takes place in this unique Shell Point building? Here is your chance to take a guided tour and learn how our economical, environmentally friendly, ice-based cooling process works. Space is limited, so be sure to reserve your spot by calling either service desk to sign up. If you want a great lunch with some different scenery, Tuesday's lunch outing to the Saltwater Smokehouse in St. James City on Pine Island could be just right for you. They use oak and mesquite to smoke delicious ribs, chicken, pork, and brisket. Prices for these barbecue delights range from $5.95 to $14.95. The cost for transportation is $7, and pickups start on the island at 10:15 a.m. And now, on to our subject for today, driving. As we age, things change. It's just the way it is. Night vision gets iffy, reaction time takes a little longer. These factors and many more impact driving an automobile, and it's serious business to take them into consideration. The AARP Smart Driver class is a resource that can really help get it all sorted out and can save you some money on your insurance while you're at it. Paul Hoden is here to tell us all about it.
Hello everyone, I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here today with Paul Hoden of Oakmont, and we're talking about the AARP Driver Safety Course. Thanks for joining me, Paul.
Glad to be here.
We have been offering this class in the Academy at Shell Point for a good long time. I can't even imagine how many of our residents have taken advantage of this refresher course. Lots.
Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with AARP. Were you a teacher before this?
Not really. I was involved peripherally in safety and security, for sure. But I took the class here with one of your existing instructors. She invited those who might be interested to see her if we were interested in becoming instructors, and it went from there. 2-day training program, and I became an instructor.
Nice, nice. What was it like your first time you taught the class?
Scary.
Yeah.
First 2 or 3 times, and I was replacing a gentleman who had been a cop in Milwaukee, and he was 80 years old, and he'd done it for 100 classes probably, and he was marvelous, and I just wasn't sure I could measure up.
Well, let me tell you, you are, because I read those evaluations. You are more than measuring up. This is a huge book. This is what you use as an instructor to give this information in only 6 hours.
That's right.
Now, what's the goal of this AARP?
Well, the primary goal, as stated by AARP, is to change at least one aspect of everyone's driving that comes through the course.
Oh, okay. Do we need to change an aspect of our driving?
Yeah, you know, highways are always changing. We have these new overpasses. We have new lines sometimes on the road. States are not always in sync, and we bring people in sync. All the states will be pretty much lined up to teach the same way.
Interesting. Well, that makes a lot of sense. We're such a mobile society, and we drive all over the place. Well, and that reminds me of one of our problems here. People from all over the place want to come to Southwest Florida, especially in the winter. So that complicates at least our reaction times and our frustration levels. Do we touch on that at all? Oh,
we do. I asked them in one section, what is your frustration, your biggest frustration driving on the road? And I've got the same standard answer from most of my students, and they're all, for the most part, 70 and older. The biggest one is slow drivers staying in the left lane.
Yeah, that is so frustrating, isn't it? There's no nice way to ask them to move. You can give them a little blink, but. Now, what about how we change as we age? I'm sure that the course addresses that. As we age, what can we expect with our driving abilities?
Well, certainly our reaction time is different, and our eyes change, our hearing changes. Those are just some examples. The book goes into it. We have some excellent videos that demonstrate it, and they're even funny in some points. So if you come, it won't be bored all day. And I get the students engaged to talk to me and to each other and give examples out of their own personal driving of how these aspects of their readiness to drive change.
Well, I know that AARP provides this across the United States, and we are so fortunate that we can offer this right to our residents right here. Minimum fee, 6 hours of information and interaction with fellow drivers.
Yes.
Doesn't get better than that.
No, people for the most part walk out very happy that they've gone through it, and they get a discount on their insurance in most states with most companies.
And that's helpful too. Well, Paul, on behalf of everyone who has taken this course and will take it in the future, let me thank you on behalf of our community for teaching it.
It's my pleasure.
Coming up, we're going to replay some of the week's best stories from Shell Point today. But before we do that, let's cover all of this weekend's happenings, academy news, menus, and church news.
Welcome to the weekend edition of the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Caitlin Vanscoy, and this is Bev Chanley, and we're going to let you know what's happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We start Friday morning off with 8 a.m. men's match play doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts, and the mobile mammography will be here from 8 to 5 at the Village Church. 8:15 is a time for stamp ministry. Volunteers are welcome to join at the stamp room in the Island Tunnel. And from 8:30 to 11:30, the Friday marketplace will be in the administration courtyard. 9 a.m. will be canasta and samba being played at the common second floor lobby of the Woodlands. At 9:30, the Susie Q will be headed out to Pincher's Crab Shack, and sign up is required. 10 a.m. is a time for men's match play doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. Genealogy will be meeting at 10:15 in the Osprey room of the Island. And at 10:15, Inquiring Minds will be meeting in the Manatee room of the Island. Well, that's our Friday morning, and Bev's going to tell you about Friday afternoon.
I sure am, Caitlin. At 12:30, we have Mixed Progressive Bridge. That's played in the Woodlands game room. Then we'll go to 1:15, Advanced Table Tennis in the Tarpon room on the Island. The Quilters will be in the Osprey room also at 1:15. 1:30 to 3:30, the Model Train room is open for tours. Also at 1:30, we have our first Vespers. This is in the community room of the Arbor. At 2 o'clock, we have the Art Studio presentation in the Social Center. Bid Euchre will be played in the Sable room of the Woodlands at 2 o'clock. 2:15 is the time for water volleyball down at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Latin Size will be down in the Health Club at 2:30, and also at 2:30 we have our second Vespers. This one's in the community room of King's Crown. At 2:45 we have Great Decisions being discussed in the Manatee room on the Island. And our final Vespers will be at the Springs at 3:30. At 4 o'clock, pickleball will be played at the pickleball court. At 6:15, our community concert series bus leaves for Barbara B. Mann. At 6:15, the court pickups begin on the Island, 6:25 at the Woodlands, and 6:35 for Eagles Preserve and Estuary. Game night at the resident activity starts at 6:45, always a fun time, head on down. And then at 7:30, we have a fine performing arts concert series with Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. That's at the Village Church. You do need a ticket for admission. That's the end of today. Here's Caitlin for Saturday's lineup.
Thanks, Bev. At 8 a.m., we have Adopt a Road meeting in the Administration Circle. Also at 8 a.m., we have pickleball being played at the pickleball courts behind the Resident Activity Center. Also at 8 a.m. is round robin doubles tennis at the tennis courts of the Woodlands. 9:30, both men's and women's doubles tennis will be meeting at the Woodlands tennis courts. Duplicate Bridge will be played at 9:45 in the Manatee room of the Island. And the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be at the Garden Apartment Pond at 10:15. The afternoon starts off with 1 p.m. chess in the library lounge of the Resident Activity Center. At 1:15, we have Scrabble in the library lounge. And 1:15 is the time for table tennis in the Tarpon Room down at the Island Tunnel. 3:15 is the time for basic line dancing in the Health Club. We have an Everblades hockey game, and the court pickups start at 5:30 on the Island, 5:40 Woodlands, and 5:50 Eagles Preserve and Estuary, and sign-up is required. At 6:15, we have a Symphony Classical Masterwork series at the Barbara B. Mann Theater. Island pickups start at 6:15, 6:25 Woodlands, and 6:35 Eagles Preserve and Estuary. We finish Saturday evening off with a 6:30 duplicate bridge in the Manatee Room of the Island. And here's Bev for our Sunday lineup.
Thank you, Caitlin. We're going to start with Christian Life Studies at the Game Room of the Woodlands at 9 o'clock. And also at 9 o'clock, that Christian Life Studies will be going on at the Village Church. Our morning worship service at the Village Church will be at 10:15. You know, it's also broadcast live on Shell Point TV channel 13 for those of you who can't get to the church. At 2:30, we have our Sunday matinee featuring 12 Angry Men. That's a 1957 film in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Ballroom line dancing for beginners will be taught in the Health Club at 4:15. And 6:15, we have the evening service at the Village Church. Well, we hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here next week.
Hello, I'm Terry Koleth with your Academy information for Friday and the weekend. On Friday at 10:15, we have part 1 of the 1950s taking place in the Social Center of the Island, and sign-up is required. At 10:15, our iPad or iPhone walk-in clinic will continue in the Teaching Center in the tunnel on the island. And at 1:15, follow your friends and family on Facebook in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. Sign-up is required. Let me tell you about our new classes coming next week. On Monday, AARP Safe Driver course. This time our instructor is Paul Hoden of Oakmont. We have fun on the internet with Russ Cray. And on Tuesday, Understanding Your Computer with Paul Neighbors of Rosemont. And Legendary Places Session 3 with Professor Adrian Kerr. Also an iPad, Got One Now What class with Bruce Findlay of Sundial. On Wednesday, Penny Modridge of Nautilus will focus on iWorks spreadsheets. And on Thursday, Academy on the Go #2 to visit the Lipizan Stallions. Also Coffee with a Neighbor #1, Places and Faces of Israel with Sheila and Herb Sklar of Eagles Preserve. And on Friday, Session 2 of the 1950s with Gerald Zeidenberg.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter on Friday is fried cod with wedge-cut fries and coleslaw. The dinner special is the seafood buffet for $15.95, and the soup of the day is split pea. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Friday, the special is the Captain's Platter with fries and slaw for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are lamb chops for $22.95 or Florida lobster for $22.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, the special is a Philly cheesesteak with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is artichoke chicken with potato wedges and broccoli for $8.25. On Saturday in the Palm Grill, the dinner special is prime rib for $19.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Sunday brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, the special is a chicken tender wrap with fresh fruit for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Glenda Stephenson, our administrator, and we're here to talk about the weekend activities here at the Village Church. And we're about ready to kick off this weekend our Global Impact Week, and it's always an exciting thing to do, and especially because we have a keynote speaker to start it all off for us. So tell us a little bit about that and what kinds of things we're in store for this Sunday.
Happy to, Andy. Our theme for the week is the joy of access. And when you stop and realize that there are many areas in our world where people that are living and growing up, dying, have never even heard the name of Jesus.
That's right.
It's very sobering. So this week we're going to be exploring that together and trying to find out what is happening in some of these areas of the world and how we can participate with that. And to kick off the week, our guest is Dr. John Stumbo, president of the Christian Missionary Alliance.
Yeah, that's exciting. Exciting for me because John has a really storied history as a pastor in the Alliance, and also having been involved with the national leadership at certain times, but that having gone through his own particular trials through a major health crisis has brought him through that in so many ways, spiritually stronger and really able to have compassion for churches and see a vision, a global vision that local churches can participate in. And so that's what I'm really excited about, and certainly expecting this to happen on Sunday as he presents a vision that helps us to understand that here at the Village Church in Southwest Fort Myers, or Southwest Florida in Fort Myers, we can actually touch every part of the globe, because we have ministries in more than 80 countries around the world, trying to make sure that the gospel of Jesus is communicated mainly to people that have very little, as you said, access to that information. So that's what's happening. That's, of course, the 10:15 morning worship service and the 6:15 evening worship service. John Stumbo will be our keynote speaker. But the weekend really doesn't end there, does it? We have to swing the weekend just a little bit over to Monday, don't we?
John will also be with us for one of the highlights of the week, and that is our Monday night banquet. And it's a time when we gather around tables. We fill the auditorium with tables and with people, and we celebrate what God's doing around the world with a meal together, and then listening to John share from his heart. Tickets are required for that event, so I want to make sure to mention, if you haven't gotten your ticket, it's not too late, but you do need to get that. Contact us on Sunday or first thing Monday morning and see how many tickets we still have available. We'd love to have everybody participate.
Yeah, and that's going to be a great speaker, as well as a great meal, as well as some entertaining elements that I think people will find really wonderful.
That's right. Doors will open at 5:30. The meal begins service at 6 o'clock. And I should mention, for those that maybe can't participate for one reason or another in the meal, they can still join us for the service portion of the evening, which would start about 7:15.
I see. That's great. Well, it's good information, and we're looking forward yet again to another wonderful Sunday set of services that we always have, but a special emphasis on our global work all around the planet, and then also on Monday evening for our special banquet. So please join us this coming weekend for the services at the Village Church.
And now it's time to look back at stories from this week on Shell Point Today. We got a preview of new Academy classes about new technology.
Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here today with Russ Cray of Oakmont, very instrumental in planning and organizing and presenting the Computer College here at Shell Point. And we're talking about what's new. Thanks for joining me, Russ.
I'm very, very happy to be here. It's great.
Well, you have worked on the Computer College, with the Computer College, the whole time.
We've been here 11 years now. About 8 or 9 of it's been on the Computer College.
Wow. Now, we have some new things. We're constantly getting evaluations back from our residents, and we all know technology changes. It's going to change while you and I are sitting here. Right. So how do you keep up with what residents need and want?
With difficulty. Essentially what we've done is we sat down and said, okay, what do we really need to provide to the residents so that they can do better work on their computer? And so we've looked at what they do, what are their most favorite things to do, because that's what we do.
Right.
And basically I think everybody here who has a computer does emailing and surfing the net. So, and of course, we really have to know the basics of a computer before you can do anything. And so we've now tried to meet the needs of the residents by having computer courses at every level, starting at the very basic with the 0 level. What we have found out is that as we get older, we don't remember better. It's not quite as good. So we had to figure out better ways to learn and better ways to remember what we learned.
Right, exactly.
And so we try to emphasize that. But we fit in some new courses called workshops, 2 sessions. And basically, what they're for is to say, okay, you had this course. Perhaps you didn't remember some of the good stuff that you should have remembered. And so we're having workshops, which will go for 2 weeks, and refresh and tune up some stuff.
You know, you have to really appeal to people on all different levels, don't you? Because we have many people who have never used computers. Either they didn't have to, their secretary or somebody did it for them, or it just wasn't something that they were interested in. And now we find exactly what you're saying. If we want to communicate with our friends and family, email, texting, you know, those are the new things that
Like
people
Skyping.
want. And Skyping. And we also find that the whole world is available to us on the internet, surfing the web. How amazing is that?
Well, I'm preparing a tutorial right now for having fun on the internet, and I'm having so much fun that I can't get the tutorial done. And one of the things that's really exciting to me is there's 3D sites that you can go to, and you can look at a city or a landscape, and it rotates through 360 degrees. And the one I did of Hong Kong, it starts with a helicopter view of the city of Hong Kong, and then goes down to eventually street level.
So for the tourist, for the person who's reminiscing about where they've been, looking at our first home, what does it look like now? Everything is fascinating. So I just want to point out, because we're very grateful as a community to the fact that you and the rest of the people who have been on your steering committee, teaching your classes, assisting with classes, Megs and her group with the computer center so people can go in and out and practice what they're learning. Same thing at the Woodlands. Marianne works with her group, and residents can help in the centers. All along, you've had the foresight to think what's coming down the road. First, XP was coming. Then Windows 8 was coming.
Well, we have to have essentially, in my courses, I do it both in 7 and 8.1 because usually about half and half in class of each. So it works out. They're not that different, really. It's a matter of a couple clicks and you're right. It looks just like the other one. So you're all set on that. But I think you hit a key point where practice. It's so important, and we can learn by doing it in class, and this is what we stress in class: that we do it again to be sure that you have you've mastered it for that time. If you go home and you say, like the school kids, school's out, I can forget till next fall, you will forget it by next fall, and you won't remember how to do it. So we're recommending you go home from class, don't turn on the TV, turn on your computer and practice, and continue to practice, because that'll help you remember it.
And you're all so accessible. In the brochure, in the Academy brochure, you list times that instructors will help people. It's just fabulous. It's just that you've made such a commitment, all of you, to bringing people up to where they want to be with technology.
Having fun.
Having fun. And now you've added new classes. Let's talk about a few of the new classes.
Oh, they're really exciting. As I mentioned, the three, that we had to create a new level between 0 and 1. So these are the workshops, which are tune-ups or refreshers, or whatever you want to call them. Then the regular class at the 1 level, which has been our bread and butter classes, because you get both the basics and extend into different programs. And then we get into some of the more, I'll call them advanced, because they're just more techniques involved. And we have a couple of new ones in here that I think will be interesting. Larry Brock is doing visiting the world virtually on your computer, and basically you can walk the streets of Paris, and so it just, or if you want to go to another planet, you can go there too.
That's right, and stress-free photo editing. I mean, how wonderful is that? I think that's our biggest problem with technology as we get older, is we're afraid. You know, will I break it? You know,
you won't break it.
Yeah, will I break it if I do something wrong on the computer? It's like, how can I get to the point where I'm enjoying everything that's available to me right in my own home? It's
a continual learning process, because as I was just mentioned a bit ago, that I've learned very recently that in Windows 8.1 you have a program available on creating collages. and it's so fabulous. It's so easy to do. So, and I've never done it before, but it's great.
That's wonderful. Well, you kind of epitomize what this is all about, Russ. And, you know, trying something new, having fun with it, and sharing with others so they can have the same kind of fun. It's very nice.
Thank you.
So I encourage you to go to the part of the Computer College and the Academy of Lifelong Learning. Right after page 62, you find the Computer College. If nothing else, read what these residents have done to bring our residents all the help they can with computers. And then take a chance. We have small classes because we want to be able to give a lot of attention to our students. We have a wonderful state-of-the-art teaching center in the tunnel on the island, and we have people like Russ Cray who are there teaching classes.
Bev Chanley came by in her alternate uniform to invite you to an Everblades hockey game.
Chanley, and I love ice hockey. I grew up north where ice hockey was real popular. Everybody played it out on the pond, and some people played it in leagues. And when I moved to Florida in the year 2000, I couldn't tell you how excited I was to find out that Southwest Florida has its own professional hockey team, the Florida Everblades. Now, I know a lot of you residents out there also grew up north and in frozen wastelands where hockey was popular, and you had your own favorite teams. But we like to go out and see these Everblades play. They're a wonderful team, so we want to get out there and support our championship team by signing up to go on the Shell Point Everblades trip. Now, we will be at Germain Arena. There will be stairs to navigate and arena seating to navigate. So be sure you're up for the task. Should be a great night out. So grab a friend, get ready, get psyched to go see the hockey team. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We will see you then.
Anna Smith from FineMark Bank came by with a FineMark Minute about Social Security fraud.
Hello, I'm Anna Smith, Managing Executive at FineMark National Bank and Trust on the island. Today we are discussing Social Security and medical fraud. The Social Security Administration reports the latest scam they are seeing involves thieves trying to open Social Security accounts on the official website. But the criminals are using the names and information of unsuspecting Americans. If they open the account, your direct deposit from Social Security can actually be controlled by the thieves. The best way to protect yourself is to make sure you go to the Social Security website and open the account yourself. This eliminates the risk of a new account being opened by an identity thief. And if you haven't opened an account, but you receive a notice saying you have, call authorities immediately. Someone else may have opened an account in your name. Now on to another type of scam, medical identity theft. This happens when someone steals your name and Medicare number to get treatment, prescription drugs, or other services, and then bills Medicare for it. Medical identity theft can be very dangerous. If a thief uses your identity to get care, your medical record could then reflect false information about you. This means you could be getting the wrong treatment. Here are signs you've become a victim of medical fraud. If your insurance company says you've reached your limit on medical benefits, you get a bill for medical services you didn't receive, or you're contacted by a debt collection company for money you don't owe. Protecting your Medicare is just as important as protecting a credit card. Just like your financial information, shred medical papers before putting them in the trash. If you have any questions, you can stop by FineMark on the island or give us a call at 461-5999. We will do all we can to help. With today's FineMark Minute, I'm Anna Smith.
Robin Church came by the studio to introduce us to a new member of her team at the Shell Point Salon.
Hi, my name is Robin Church, and I'm the salon manager here at Shell Point. And today I'd like to introduce you to a very special person that's joining us. This is Pat, and she is an esthetician, and she is joining us in the Island Salon on Saturdays and Mondays. And we're just going to talk a little bit about skin and what the benefits of treating your skin can do for you so that you have that radiant, healthy glow that everyone wants. So Pat, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been here in Florida.
Well, I'm from Massachusetts, 2 years. Now we're here. Kids are all grown, grandchildren grown, so we decided it's our time.
And how long have you been an esthetician?
I believe it'll be 9 years this spring.
Okay, all right. And you also have some other very interesting certifications.
Well, I have a medical degree in respiratory therapy. So I worked in the medical field in a hospital and on and off, seeing people in their homes. 38 years.
Wow,
38
long time.
years, and along with some of that, I did professional photography, and that's how I got into the aesthetics, because I did a lot of women. I did a lot of women. I did a lot of young ladies who didn't want to go to school photographers, and I started doing all their makeup. So I went and got licensed for skincare and makeup, and I ended up sticking with the aesthetics end of it in skincare.
Right, right. And now you're familiar and you work with the GM Collin product line, which is fabulous.
I think, in my opinion, it's absolutely the best. I've been using it all those years. I've alternated at times with other products. They're all very good, but I have not found one, in my opinion, to be superior.
I agree. I've been trying a lot of different samples too, and I really, really like the GM Collin product line. It really made a big difference. Let's talk a little bit about what the difference is between dry and dehydrated skin.
Well, dry and dehydrated, two different things. Okay, dry is a lack of oil or lipids. Okay, dehydrated is lack of water. Okay, people with very dry skin are probably a combination of dehydrated and dry, lack of lipids. Okay, so you have to prepare the skin to take in lipids and water. You can drink all the water you want. It's not all going to go to the outer layers of your skin. They're going to go to your vital organs first. Okay, your liver, your heart, your lungs, your pancreas, etc. Okay. By the time it gets to the inner layers of your skin, most of the water is depleted. So you get very little to the outer layers. Okay. So you have to prepare the skin by good cleansing, exfoliation, and allowing the product to come in to the skin from the outside.
Okay.
That's your dry and dehydrated.
And how about the sensitive skin?
Sensitive skin is for people who have very fair skin, okay? There's a difference between sensitive and sensitized, okay? Sensitive skin is usually fair-skinned people, and it's usually an impaired barrier function, usually genetic. It affects the capillaries, and it's genetic, so it's not repairable.
Okay.
Okay. Sensitized skin is usually people who have, doesn't matter if you're fair or not, but it's affected by the environment, hot, cold, poor product.
Oh, where it irritates.
Yes.
Okay.
It's irritated by stressors
Okay.
on the skin. Stresses can be the environment, pollution, hot, cold.
How How about rosacea?
Rosacea is just an increased form, a severe form of sensitized skin.
Okay.
Okay, but Jim Cohen has some awesome products for that also. And a lot of times sensitized skin is a lack of water. Sometimes if you can repair that barrier function with your lipids and your oils and your water, once you start hydrating, that sensitivity alleviates.
Okay.
So it's not correctable in the genetic form, but you can do a lot to correct and repair in the sensitized form.
That makes a lot of sense. So we're treating the skin with waters and that come from inside our body, but we also need to treat these outer layers of our skin to penetrate in from the outside.
Yes. And if you don't exfoliate, you do need to do that, whether it be a mechanical exfoliation, an enzymatic exfoliation, or an alpha-beta exfoliation. Okay, you have to do that in order to have the product penetrate deeper. Okay?
Right.
And then you will see differences.
I know Jim Cullen has an excellent reputation, and I know I had a facial and a peel by Pat, and it was fabulous, and my skin felt so smooth and just so hydrated after I was done. I really, really enjoyed it, and we really would like to share her knowledge with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us and meeting Pat today and learning a little bit about skincare and the different elements that go into it. And it's not just a matter of just putting some cream on your face. You're not going to see the results by simply doing that. Thank you and have a great day.
Representing one of a dozen support groups that meet regularly at Shell Point, Lenny Wodarczyk talked with Mary Franklin about the Neuropathy Support Group.
I'm Mary Franklin, here today with resident Lenny Wodarczyk, who is the resident leader for the Neuropathy Support Group. It is one of 11 support groups we have here at Shell Point, and the information for this support group and all Shell Point support groups can be found in the Shell Point Life, normally somewhere towards the middle of the magazine. And today we would like to highlight this fabulous group that meets once a month and led by Lenny. Lenny, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, neuropathy is interesting because it affects approximately how many Americans?
Well, I read someplace that affects 20 million American citizens, which to me is surprising. But on the other hand, we have about 2,400 residents living here at Shell Point. And all told, during the past meetings, over the past 2 or 3 years, I've had 50 people come at different times who just live at Shell Point. Unfortunately, some people become discouraged and don't come as often as they might have come and may benefit from our input and output. And also, it's nice to hear from them what they've tried and what they've found helpful and some things which they don't find helpful.
Right, because what would work for me to ease the pain, which a lot of times is like pins in the bottom of your feet or different areas.
That's true.
And so what may ease my pain may not ease yours, correct?
That's so true. And some people also have the pain in their fingers and their hands. Now, most of us have our tingling and burning in our feet.
Your group, not only, you don't just come and chat with each other, you bring in guest speakers. Can you name a couple that you've had in the past?
I've had Dr. Gavin, a podiatrist who does work here at Shell Point and comes here, I think, at least once a week. I've had an expert in fitting shoes, a pedorthist, come and give us 2 different talks during the past 2 or 3 years. And I've had also a reflexologist who works here at Shell Point.
Right.
And she specializes in massaging of the feet and how it can help different parts of the body.
Right, and that's Marianne from the salon. Right? And it's important that people continue to come and not get disappointed or frustrated, because somebody may share an idea, or a speaker shares an idea that may be the trigger they need to find some relief.
If I can share you one example of that. A lady in our group tried using some capsules, and I tried the same thing. Well, that did not help me at all.
Right.
But she was happy to buy those remaining capsules that I had, which was an unopened bottle, for almost the same price I paid for it.
Right.
So, again, it's one of the examples that things that helped somebody else, it did not help me, or may not help you.
Right. And your group meets monthly. You have a topic or a subject or a guest speaker each time, but you really do encourage open communication and talking during your group.
I do encourage, Mary, that the people that do have neuropathy come to the support group and share with one another what's happening with them, what may work for them might well work for me.
Right.
Possibly.
Right.
And I think aside from that, it's also a good place where we can share each other's frustrations and make our feelings known to somebody who's suffering from a like problem.
Well, you are really diligent in getting all the information, making sure you share it with others, and also have open arms to hear others' ideas. You're a wonderful support group that is there for many people, and I appreciate all the hard work that you put into this group. I've had the pleasure of sitting in on a few of the neuropathy support group sessions, and you really are, you become a family. The sharing of information comes both ways, so you do a great job.
Well, that's nice to hear. Thank you, Mary.
Wow. If you would like to join this group or ask Lenny any questions, please refer to your Shell Point Life. As I mentioned before, all the information on all the Shell Point support groups are found each month towards the middle section of your Shell Point Life. I'm Mary Franklin, along with Lenny Wodarczyk. Make it a happy and healthy day.
A sure-to-be-fun Academy class is coming up about the nostalgic decade of the 1950s. Terry Kolath talked with Gerald Zeidenberg about what he has in store for the class.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath. I'm speaking with Gerald Zeidenberg, a brand new instructor in the Academy of Lifelong Learning, teaching his second class. This is a series on the 1950s. Thanks for joining me, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the 50s.
Well, the 50s is the decade that made America. In many, many ways, there were phenomenal personalities: Harry Truman, General Douglas MacArthur, and some of the celebrities: Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Marlon Brando, James Dean. We're going to touch on all of those.
That sounds fascinating. What is there about the 50s that we want to revisit it for, Gerald? Why do we want to go back and look at the 50s?
We want to look at it from many angles, from the celebrities that I just mentioned, and the entertainment, and the television. You still go many places and you watch the reruns of Lucy and Desi Arnaz.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that, and the show of shows with Sid Caesar. But we also want to look at the politics. The decade began with Harry Truman as president, a very unpopular man, now judged to be the fourth greatest president in the history of the United States. And it ended, of course, with the Kennedy-Nixon debates.
What a lot of change. And then you also are going to talk about some of the concepts, like going to a hotel, a motel.
A man called Kemmons Wilson came up with this phenomenal idea of a Holiday Inn, which, of course, has been copied many times over, and we have all around us. And then two brothers, the McDonald brothers, out in California, came up with this idea they metamorphosized from hot dogs to hamburgers, and they came up with this phenomenal idea. And then a man called Ray Kroc took it forward and made McDonald's the symbol of America. There's nowhere that you can go in the world without seeing the Golden Arches.
Absolutely amazing. Well, talking about television, it must be very interesting to be a historian on current history, to see how something that just seemed so much fun when it started, how now our whole life revolves around watching things.
Well, there's one interesting concept about television in the 50s. We tend to look at it through sort of a prism. We look at it and we think this was such a wonderful time. And part of the reason was the television, those family situations.
Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver and so forth, and the Cleavers and so forth. So we think of it, perhaps it was a little better than it really was because of that prism that we look at it.
Sure, sure. And wouldn't we rather look at something like that?
Yes.
Yes. And now not so much. Now people look at everything.
On the other hand, it was great entertainment, and it was very well done, and we shouldn't forget it was all done live.
That is true.
And not edited.
Yeah, what an amazing thing. Well, again, we're really delighted that you're going to join us here at Shell Point, and that you're going to help us focus on a decade that everybody remembers, and we're going to focus on how is it to remember the 50s right now.
This is the decade that made America.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we talk about the greatest generation. The greatest generation was coming of age in the 50s and shaping the world.
We should mention this is a three-part series, and we know that perhaps some of you can't come to all, but I think you will enjoy it most if you get to see all three parts. We have a lot of content.
Good point. So we hope that you will be able to sign up for all three parts, but you can sign up for any part that fits into your schedule, and at the minimum, you'll review that much of the 50s with our guest instructor, Gerald Zeidenberg.
How would you like for somebody else to do all your grocery shopping for you? That would be wonderful. Well, now that can be a reality for you if you like. The Daily Bread grocery delivery service is up and running, and Mary Franklin introduced us to the guy who is making it happen.
Hi, I'm Mary Franklin from Resort Services, and we are pleased to announce that we have a new service coming your way. It is a grocery service. Daily Bread is a company that you can order your groceries, and they do the work for you. They will go to the grocery store, make all your purchases for you, and then deliver it to your home. And today we have the owner, Ron Vyers, here today to tell us all about this wonderful new service here at Shell Point. Thanks for being here today, Ron.
Thanks for having me, Mary.
What a wonderful service for our residents here at Shell Point. Sometimes, being able to go out, have somebody else go get your groceries can help in many different ways. One, lots of family coming into town, and maybe you don't have the time to go, or you want to spend time with them instead of running out and getting the groceries. Or maybe let's say you're rehabbing and you maybe not have that energy to go get your groceries. They can go and do that for you. You will take care of that.
Exactly.
Or, our residents are so busy here. Take that grocery shopping off the to-do list and you can help them out, correct?
That's right. We deliver to many different people with many different needs. Some people need the time with their family. Some people don't have the ability to get to the grocery store. We meet all those needs.
Okay. Now, it's very easy. There's 3 different ways that people can place their orders with you. One of which is the website. And I myself have went to the website, and if I can figure it out, anybody can. It reminded me of when you go and you check yourself out at the grocery store. When you go through the self-service line, you're just pointing and touching. Is that what it's designed after?
Pretty much the way it works. You just go to shopdailybread.com and you shop a virtual grocery store with grocery aisles. You go to the dairy aisle and you click on milk or click on eggs, click on butter, and so on and so forth. And at the end, you just click on checkout. It's just like going to the self-serve at Publix.
Okay. The other way, they can call it in to you, correct?
That's right.
And you'll go through the grocery list with them. Or you can type it out and email it.
Right.
Right.
It's online, by email, or by phone. So 3 ways to order. It couldn't be easier.
All right. And when you're making your selection, you know, I'm a finicky peanut butter eater. And so I could order Jif, whatever ounce I want, creamy. I can order exactly what I want, right?
Right. Online, you're given the ability to put in options like the size, the brand, particular type, or there's even a box for adding special instructions.
Okay.
So you can be very specific or very non-specific, and we'll fill the order for you.
Okay.
But it's very user-friendly.
So you can even choose to get the Publix brand versus the name brand.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great. Now, when I was on the website, I noticed the pricing's right there. How do you determine, because as we know, the prices of avocados change every time you go to the grocery store. How do you determine that?
Well, basically, I shop several local stores on a daily basis, and I'm monitoring the prices on a daily basis. So, 1 week an item may be $2.99 a pound, and the next week it's up to $3.49 a pound.
Right.
So I simply have to go in and manually update the prices, based on the prices I'm seeing in the grocery stores locally here.
Okay. Your number one store that you go to and most requested is Publix, is that
Publix,
correct?
absolutely.
But you do hit a few others if requested?
Oh, absolutely. We shop at Walmart, Target, Fresh Market, wherever the customer wants us to shop.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, so you have the cost of your groceries, which is just there, and then there's a delivery fee. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How does that work?
Normally the delivery fee with our service is $20, but in partnering with Shell Point, all the residents and staff get 50% off.
All right.
So the delivery fee is only $10 plus tax.
And that's just not the first time. That's here to stay.
That's here to stay. As many orders as you want to place. You can place, 2-3 orders a day, and it's just going to be $10.
Okay. And how much turnaround? Let's say I wake up in the morning, maybe I'm not feeling too good, but I need some food in my home. How much turnaround time do you need?
If you place an order online, typically we can get it to you within 2 hours.
Okay.
Now, if you phone in your grocery list, it may take a little longer, but we can still do same day.
Okay, that's good to know. So by the end of the day, you can have your pantry restocked and something in the refrigerator.
Right.
Right, okay. Well, Ron, thank you for being here today and also coming out here to offer this service to the Shell Point residents. I am sure that they're going to appreciate this service.
You're very welcome. We are very excited about partnering with Shell Point and being a service to them.
Well, great. Thank you, Ron. And if you would like more information about the Daily Bread grocery delivery service, we have the pamphlets at either of the service desks. You can pick them up there. You can call their business phone number is 239-313-1488, or you can always log on to www.shopdailybread.com. I'm Mary Franklin, along with Ron Vyers. Make it a great day.
iPads seem to be everywhere these days, and folks are using them for so many different purposes that it boggles the mind. But how do you get started exactly? And which of these app things do you really need on yours to do what you want to do? And what if you don't even know what you want to do with the thing? Well, Penny Modrich has just the thing for you, a walk-in iPad clinic where you can get your questions answered. She told us all about it.
Hello, everyone. I am here today with Penny Modrich of Nautilus, more commonly known as the lady with the iPad. Thanks for joining me, Penny.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Terry.
We can't think of iPads without thinking about Penny Modrich.
Thank you.
By popular demand, T3 is proud to announce the return of the iPad clinic. I love how you say, just like a medical urgent care center.
Exactly. That's the way they should think of it. It's not a class. You're not going to come in and sit there and be instructed or lectured to, or even a total class of how to do something. It's going to be for those who have a problem, a question, and they want to come in and just talk to a person, get an answer, and go home.
And urgent is really a good word for this, because when you're learning how to use an iPad and you can't do what you want to do, you want to know now. You don't want to wait until next week or next month or next semester.
Sometimes that's all it takes is one question. You say, okay, now I can go on from there, and because I know how to do something else, but that was the one thing I was stuck on. Get an answer, go home and enjoy your iPad.
How are you going to handle that? Are you going to do it all by yourself?
Oh, heavens no. I'm going to have assistants, as I did last year. I had 6 to 8 of them who would come in and be very happy to go one-on-one with the resident, and then if they could not solve their problem or had further questions, they were either referred to me, or we could even just refer them to Apple company, just to the store, so that they could get an answer. We just want to help them get an answer, because you shouldn't feel frustrated. You have the world in your hands in an iPad. You really do. You know that.
That is so true.
And it's frustrating if you just are stuck in one spot and you need to go on from there. And that's why I want to do that.
Well, I think probably, I'm sure that part of the reason why Penny Modridge is such a happy, generous person and loves what she does is because you really know how much you do for people.
Well,
that's wonderful.
I try my best.
That's great.
We do everything we can.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, that wraps up another week on Shell Point Today. We're glad you joined us for our show. Tune in again next week for more news stories. Well, that wraps up another week on Shell Point Today. We're glad you joined us for our show. Tune in again next week for more news and stories from around your community. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of January 16th, 17th, and 18th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope your weekend is terrific. And we'll see you back here on Monday.